God. Like, I feel like that was a huge giveaway that these guys are retarded. A quasi-mainstream media journalist. This is the New York Post. It's not like we're talking about, you know, like a small YouTube channel or something, right? So even the New York
published that story, and then the entire media narrative had to shift in order to discredit the story as quickly as humanly possible. And the entire national security complex mobilized and got 51 of their top experts, like ex-director of the CIA, ex-director of the NSA, the people that had architected their entire national security state, the people that had lied to us about torture, that had lied to us about WMD.
Yes, I understand. You can talk about things from 20 years ago. That's fine. But the reality is,
the story as quickly as possible.
And look who broke it. The most mainstream media people in the world. Giuliani had a copy of the drive.
Journalist.
This is a mainstream ex-mayor of New York, and then the New York Post, a mainstream media publication. Post Giuliani was not mainstream. How old are you?
So let me ask you.
No, wait. I want to hear the answer. Wait, hold on. I want to hear this. You don't think the New York Post counts as mainstream media, and you don't think Giuliani wasn't a mainstream political figure in the United States of America?
New York Post absolutely counts as mainstream media. What I'm saying is that a singular journalist got the scent, got the trail, and decided to write the story.
But I'm asking, how is that possible? And that was a mainstream media publication. How would that be possible? The CIA and the NSA and the FBI are controlling all these things. The part about Nick being anti-American was retarded. The part about Tate trying to pull a gotcha on me on the Tucker Carlson stuff because he had no idea what he was talking about and he was hoping I wouldn't was retarded.
Didn't Tucker get fired for having an opinion that went outside of the narrative of Fox News?
No, Tucker got fired because he almost cost Fox News $1 billion for lying on air. It's funny that you defend the fact that he had an original opinion. What you're actually defending is misinformation and lies, which is supposed to be something you guys are against, I thought.
Which opinion was this? That's not what I heard. Tell me, please educate me, Destiny.
The Fox News, the Dominion lawsuit. There were texts that were leaked from him where he admitted that he was lying on air about claims that Sidney Powell had made to him, and he was tired of lying to his audience about things about the Dominion voting machines being rigged.
Well, I don't know if that's a lie at all. First,
you don't know anything because you don't read any media. That's why you're out here saying things like they get marching orders from everybody. You don't know how any of these media companies are structured. You don't know where the teams get their information from. Like, why are you going to challenge me? How brave of you to assume that I don't know what the talk about just because I don't sit in my room, you know, sexting on behalf of all my sex slaves all day doesn't mean that, you know, I'm sort of like you are. Like, yeah, I don't know. That was stupid. Watching like people try to simp for Nick after he admits that he wouldn't want Muslims or Jews being in government, like how this is your champion? Make the Muslims in the call answer. Suleiman, Sneeko, and Myron. Nick said he would never allow any Muslim in this country to hold public office. You're chill with that? You like that version of Nick's America?
Better than and like acting like we're even a majority in America is ridiculous. There's 3 million Muslims here. It makes more sense, and our ideologies align more than the alternative. I'd much rather have a Christian country than an atheist country. Yeah, if they're gonna have strong Christians that going to sort everything to the Bible, I think that makes sense.
Sneako's such a moron.
824 was. Let's
every time he opens his mouth, I feel my brain cells dying.
All the laws that we push forward go right back to the Bible. I think
you'd rather live in a Christian theocracy where Muslims aren't even allowed to hold office than you would in a secular democracy where Muslims can hold office. Like Muslim talks, this is the guy that you think is like better for you and your society when he doesn't want you to even be in government. Like I don't know, I just think it's so stupid. I'm pretty sure Nick Fuentes' restrictions on Jews and Muslim power go beyond just political positions and into top executive positions and stake ownership, any form of power. Yeah, of course it would. But again, I pointed that out too, that Nick will never take the brave position. Nick will say retarded shit like, I think that race is real and there are genetic differences. Okay, yeah, say what you really mean, right? That there are some races that are like intrinsically, like for black people, they're intrinsically lower IQ as a result of being black, and the group differences can be completely explained by differences of genetics, or largely explained at least. Like, make the strong claim, but he doesn't. He always makes the weak claim. Yeah, he never answered the Holocaust question. Yeah, at least like my biggest issue too is that like take the strong claim. I hate it when I'm around people that pretend that they do these like big brave claims. It's like, okay, well I've taken strong positions before and gotten in big trouble for it. Why don't you like take one? You're already banned from everything. Why the f you go? And then also, yeah, all these guys on Twitter be like, people like Destiny. Yeah, Sneeko, the dipshit. People like Destiny never get banned. I was banned on Twitter for longer than you and Fuentes combined. What are you talking about, motherfucker? Like, yeah, you got banned from YouTube. It wasn't because of your brave opinions on Islam or on vaccines. It was because you basically made quasi threats to some fucking woman. You were unhinged. Like, Jesus. Do you think he really believes all the things he says, or does he just want to achieve a specific goal? Don't know, don't care, and it doesn't matter because, I mean, their followers believe it and they preach it, so they try to get people to act on it, so. Oh yeah, and then not engaging with the, why isn't Hassan banned? You said it was all about Israel? Well, how is Hassan the largest political streamer on Twitch? Why isn't he banned right now? One point you always bring up about people like Nick not owning his real points implies he knows his points are awful and he has to hide behind more defensible points for cover. Yeah, he definitely does that. That's very intentional. Yes. Still apply for a Twitch unban every few months. Yes. I think my next application is in 2 weeks. Oh boy. So I can get shot down again. I feel like Fuentes is going to be unbanned from Twitch before me.
Which side do y'all think North Korea supports, Palestine or Israel? Just guess. It is Palestine. The DPRK has actually never recognized the state of Israel. They have always upheld the right of Palestinian people to self-determination and resistance. And this is beyond moral and rhetorical support. The DPRK has actively armed and trained Palestinian resistance for decades. That includes the
Also, Nick hates free speech. He wanted to circle jerk in that echo chamber. Yeah, but that's not, like, that's kind of an own on his outside audience, but Nick won't even be shy about that if you corner him on that. He'll say, like, yeah, I'm not a big free speech guy. I think he even says it on his show. I think I've heard him say that before. Like, remember what I said before, okay? This is why you got to be careful with the Fuenteses and the Hamas pikers of the world. It's because they share a lot of very core values. And one of the big core values these people share is anti-liberalism. They hate liberalism, and they hate liberal values, okay? A Nazi like Fuentes and a tanky like Hassan want nothing more than to throw a liberal in jail, right? Freedom of speech, that cuck shit. Freedom to believe in like other forms of organization, like other government systems or economic, no, f that, you go to jail, we execute you, right? Illiberal people tend to be fully aligned on those values. So socialists, communists, and Nazis are going to be like, or Christian theology, or whatever the f they are, these people are going to be fully aligned on these particular positions, always. The First Amendment and that's a liberal thing, okay? That comes from liberalism, all right? Not cucks like tankies and fascies.
PLO, the PFLP, and the DFLP have trained troops by the DPRK. So while the U.S. is here training the IOF with police, the North Korea is training Palestinian.
Okay. Moss Spiker taking a break from his research. Jesus, what a title. To call Destiny unattractive because he's pro-Israel. Based. Liberalism is a rot and not a good long-term strat. And yes, the Constitution is early-era library shit. An illiberal criticizing liberalism is the same energy as a 350-pound, like, lolicon jerker criticizing a woman because her elbows are too pointy. Like, it's the same energy. Oh, actually, liberalism sucks. And I'm going to tell you that this system of government is way better because here's 7 countries you've either never heard of before or have standards of living that are equivalent to the United States in the 1700s that I think are better than ours. Get the f*** out of here. Eat shit, loser.
Across the country. Listen to what the president said a short time ago.
Jesus, that dude won the genetic lottery? No, man. He's just a good person. And when you're a good person and you advocate for good causes, it clears up your skin. You become more physically attractive to everybody else. That works. Not that like physical attraction matters in this circumstance, but that's why he has this aura to him. Okay, because he's a good.
I've unironically, there are people. You know, there are people who believe this, right? Hassan must be joking. I think. I'm assuming Hassan is joking.
There's no way.
But there are people that believe this. Would a president like Nick Fuentes be more loyal to the Pope than to the average American? Well, yeah, of course, right? If he believes in a Catholic theocratic government, the Pope has to be. Right? Well, I don't know what Nick's like idealized form of government would be, but I can't imagine there is no form of Catholicism that doesn't recognize the ultimate, at least the ultimate papal authority of the Pope, right? I don't know about government authority, but I mean, I feel like probably one would be downstream from the other, right?
I cannot find him at all.
He probably hates the current Pope. Listen, Catholics don't always like the current Pope, all right? I think at their peak, I think the Catholics had 3 popes at once. Okay, some people disagree with the Pope too, or look at Muslims, right? They disagree on that shit too. That's why Sunni and Shia Muslims exist. I think, right? I think Shia Muslims believe that.
Right.
I think Shia Muslims believe that Muhammad named an heir, and Sunnis are like, I don't think he did. Yeah, it's like that, and that's I think
it's all gone.
I think that's the main split between Sunni and Shia.
Oh shit.
Yeah, but I mean, like, yeah, there's schisms in the church where there are multiple popes and people are like, oh, well, shit. This and,
especially if you are, on the right side of history, okay?
Any way to combat stuff like Hassan lying that you deny the aid truck strike and the deaths of Hind Rajab and the medic? I don't even looked into the Hind Rajab stuff. I don't have any strong opinion on that whatsoever. There is no way to combat Hassan other than responding to him on my platform. I think I'll try to be more active in Twitter Spaces. I think there's a huge untapped audience there that. Damn, I got so many like DMs and emails and things online that I hadn't seen before. I think there's a big online audience there that's really hungry for better political takes that I just wasn't aware of. So maybe we'll try to incorporate Twitter Spaces more. But I don't know, like, would I host a Twitter Space? Like on what? Maybe? How many listeners were there? I have no idea. I don't know how to even check that. When you were pushing about Fuentes' real beliefs about Jews, do you think if you asked what's the real reason you bring up blank, do you think he would refuse to answer the question or lie? It depends. You have to be really careful when you phrase questions to people like that, because people like him will take it as an opportunity to yap and ramble. They don't actually answer questions. That's why I try not to just ask questions. Like, I might ask them rhetorically and answer it, but usually they'll just use it to yap.
Is she bringing? Is the other one?
I feel like you're the best person to fight gripers. I feel like Hassan or something would have drowned.
Is the other one bringing what?
Made these guys look smart. I don't know. It just depends.
Tin?
Yeah. Is she bringing it over, or is it
Don't
just
know.
stacking?
They should bring it over, I think. I'll swing by and check.
I have to work. I'm just working on my rhetorical thing. I think in terms of information and everything, I think I'm way beyond all these people. But the problem is the Vivance has given me more interest in the information thing, not the rhetorical practicing. But we'll figure it out. I mean, I'm good, like, rhetorical and debating too. Obviously, that's my big strength. But so you're gonna need death threats to Twitter Space? I get death threats like every day now. So, do you have media appearances in May? The upcoming media appearances that I have are on the 10th. I think I fly to DC to talk to Seb Gorka, whatever the fuck. Oh, with Trigonometry hosting that. And then on the 15th, I go to Vegas and talk to the Hodge twins. Oh boy. How do you cope with the death threats? Doesn't it have a chilling effect on you? No, it's just retards. It's retards on Twitter who are ass mad. It makes me feel good because I see how ass mad they are, because they know that I'm blowing the fuck out of their so much.
We're supposed to be making bronze bars.
They're so fucking mad.
Go to the gym, be a kind of...
The mining camp's empty.
I mean, dude...
Besides the mining peak.
You guys saw a person unconditionally defending Israel's genocide. Evil. It goes to the same point that I was making earlier, okay? Sure, he could be a 7 too.
Just mine some copper. I was wondering.
When you defend ugly actions, it just shows, you know?
Are we out of hemp?
That's such a wild position to even...
That's why I'm looking for it.
Damn.
That's so wild. I wonder what his average audience member looks like. Jesus.
With a true free market of ideas, if people are able to debate and the ones that
I think
are persuasive
that's
win,
reason
and,
we was
you know,
planning
maybe that's more
some.
true.
Yeah.
I think that was a great space, Suleiman. I got to give you props for hosting that. Mario especially was getting a lot of like flack before people calling him controlled opposition. I think he was just playing the optics game. Let me bring on some opposition to push back, because that's like, if you realize any.
God, I hate this stupid slimy fucking cuck. And he's a bigger, I don't even mean a cuck for like the sex shit. I mean he's a cuck in terms of like sitting in the chair and watching Fuentes like everything that he thought he believed in and like clapping along or whatever, and getting humiliated at the same time. Like, freedom of speech and free exchange of ideas is actually really important, but I think that Mario was really shitty when he brought on opposing opinions. I think that freedom of speech and free exchange of ideas is incredibly important when we all talk and agree with each other, but I really didn't like it when they brought on people that disagreed. I think we should have the freedom to say anything we want, but I really didn't like it when that one guy said things that I didn't want to hear. Like, how can you not hear like how retarded you're being? Like, it must be that like maybe he shot a lot of guns and he's deaf, so he can't hear himself speak. So he's like mixing up words or confusing definitions, and he's like deluding himself into thinking he's saying something reasonable, but he's actually just like completely out of touch with the words that are coming out of his mouth. I don't know.
On some opposition to push back, because that's like, if you realize anything with Nick Fuentes for the past couple of years, you can platform him as long as you have pushback, which is like probably got to be one of the most annoying things.
What
like,
are we
it's
building
a historical
here?
moment to be reinstated.
Are we building something
a
here?
historical
We're building a bunch
moment?
of stuff all over the place.
A historical moment. The fake Muslim guy is over here, and it's like conversion to Islam, Fuentes getting unbanned on Twitter, and then me going to Mecca. This is like the top 3 moments of his grifter life right now. Historical moment because some motherfucking retard got unbanned from Twitter? Christ.
Like, it's a historical moment to be reinstated, a big win for free speech. and then immediately all the hall monitors got to come in and try to obfuscate and make the discussion about something else. And
if people really wanted to make the argument for like government institutions having a ton of power, or really wanted to make the argument that there's still crazy shit that goes on that I'm not giving these guys enough credit for, all they would have to do in a debate, imagine Andrew Tate being like, you don't think the CIA or the FBI is up to crazy domestic shit or psyops anymore? And I'm like, no, I think there'd be evidence of that. I think we'd see something. And imagine Tate's like, tell me, the Sneeko that you see today, you really don't think that this one wasn't swapped out 3 years ago for another one? I would be mind-fucked. It would be over for me. I would have to unplug the stream and take like 3 weeks off just to even consider how I would respond to that comment. I have no idea. I have no idea what the I would say in response to that.
Achievement.
And make the discussion about something else, and then talk about Wikipedia articles.
Who? What even? What? Like, look at how much of a bot. And he always is a bot. Like Wikipedia. Like, holy shit! Who talked about anything related to Wikipedia in this conversation? It's like he knows like 6 terms. It's so funny. He's like the same as like every virtue signaling leftist cuck. Like instead of colonialism, Western imperialism, and white supremacy, it's Zionism, Wikipedia, and like the World Economic Forum. Like it's the same grammar with a different vocabulary. It's the exact same fucking game with just like I don't know, different courts. It's like it's so stupid. And it's like so obvious too. Oh, I think I said that at least. Thank God.
One of them. No,
and Tate had the worst response. People that work in media are the most like social media hungry people in the universe. You think that all these people in all these networks across all these countries are getting fed the same marching orders and nobody's leaked anything, nobody's complained about anything, nobody's said anything? And why do we think that mainstream media is any more insulated from these problems than alternative media is? You guys will make fun of the marching orders from mainstream media, but I bet every single alternative media guy in here is anti-vax, thinks COVID came from a bioweapons lab, thinks that Russia has a right to invade Ukraine, thinks that all the charges against Donald Trump are made up, thinks that we shouldn't be supporting Israel. Like, you guys have literally copy-pasted the same opinions between every single one of you, and you guys are talking like an army of NPCs about how the mainstream media gives you like fabricated opinions. Like, it doesn't even make sense.
Yes, we do all think the truth. That is.
Oh, crazy how truth can be a perspective there, huh? But when you all think the same thing, it's not a conspiracy, but when the mainstream media does, it is a conspiracy. Crazy how that works. Because I think I said something like, you guys are NPCs too. Like, you all believe in the same things. And I named off like 5 things, and Taylor was like, well, that's because we're right. Wow, you think you're right? Wow, bro. How unique are you? My God.
Yeah,
I can feel the triangle hands forming in my brain with such an enlightened statement. You think you're right and everybody else is wrong?
Yeah, it's still just solid coloring up the story.
No way, Chief.
Wikipedia articles. So in the future for
build an outhouse, saying on not build an outhouse.
Spaces, which I think are going to continue to be huge.
Is he about to give a guideline on how to make this as anti-free speech as possible so they could celebrate their freedom of speech?
Nick Fuentes spaces, which I think are going to continue to be huge. If you look at this as like a post space and there's already so many people here, I would just say let's try to limit the amount of yappers who are just trying to deflect the conversation.
Actually unbelievable. What a cowardly fuck. What an actual cuck. Like, you should be, Sneeko should be like a Buddhist or something. I like, at the very least, choose like a more pussy religion, right? Because like at the very least, if you want to talk shit about Muslims, if you want to talk shit about Islam, be my guest, because religion. But like, you can't say that Muslims are pussies, okay? Muhammad was a literal warlord. This motherfucker signing treaties and then torching tribes as he marches through the desert, laying waste to the enemies around him, okay? With the, like, Christians have, like, we call it divinely inspired. When a Christian argues about their holy book, they're like, well, the Bible is divine inspiration. I'm like, what is a Muslim's like, what is divine inspiration, man? You're like, well, it means that God influences a guy and he writes what he thinks God is saying. Like, isn't that how yours is written? And they're like, no, the Quran is the word of God. And they're like, oh, like divinely inspired? No, it's just the word of God. There's no argument. Like, everything about Islam is so much more, like, hardcore. They've got politics. They've got warlords as their figures. Like, they've got, like, Jesus is walking around, like, kissing people's feet and washing them with his hair, and Muhammad is chopping them off, okay? Like, everything is so much more hardcore. So how do you get somebody like Sneeko who's like, guys, if we want to do spaces, can we not have the opposition in here? Like, let's just, like, make sure we can all talk and not get interrupted. Like, did you actually get Keppel's banned? No, I haven't gotten Keppel's banned from anything ever. I don't have the power to get people banned. Nobody likes me, okay? I don't have any pull to get anybody. You know what Yeah, I did get Keppel's banned. I got her banned from DGG. I probably banned her account. I don't even know if her account was banned in my chat. Okay? Jesus. Yeah, I don't even know if Muslims are allowed to translate the Quran. Are you? Doesn't the only official version exist in, like, in Arabic? I don't actually fucking know. Are you allowed? Someone said you're allowed. I thought that like the only version that counts is like the original fucking. You can translate it, but the true Quran is only in Arabic. And even for the same Bible, we got like 30 different versions. I can't. God, and you would get demerits. Imagine showing up. Welcome to Catholic life, by the way. Imagine showing up to fucking Catholic school religion class, and they're like, read from the Bible here, and you're like, what? Mark chapter, 7, verse 12, and it's like, okay, and then you start reading. The teacher's like, excuse me, and you're like, what's up? And you're like, you don't have the right version of the Bible. And I'm like, oh shit. Now I get demerits. Now I get demerits. I get demerits because I brought the fucking the King James version of the Bible instead of like the international version or the English version or the whatever version. Oh, fuck me, I guess. My bad. Sorry. I got the wrong translation. And you get demerits for it. You actually get in trouble. Did you see how long Myron had his hand up? You reminded me of Hermione and Potions. Also, I'm so sorry, but the idea of like Andrew Tate there when I'm talking and he's like on his keyboard like I push it down, I push it down. Like, bro, really? Seriously? Is this where we're at? Is this where discourse is now?
If you're doing that
Seriously?
for that one you just set out, I think I put
You didn't like Sneeko
some
constantly
there.
doing the thumbs down when you were speaking? Yeah, it was like, because when I go in and I speak,
When I said out what?
The one you set out in the right in front of the fucking storage. I put a bunch of wood in it.
Oh yeah. That's another cauldron.
I'm working through these, like, from epistemology to ethics to metaphysics, like all the thoughts that I've had that were all incorporated from the start to the end of philosophy, to the start to the end of my political positions, the years that I've spent, trying to figure out what are the good thoughts, what are the bad thoughts, how do I communicate them, are probably all defeated. All defeated by the Twitter emoji spam from Sneeko, just completely destroying my, like, well, fuck me. If he's gonna give me the thumbs down
rope?
Twitter emoji, is that the double tier laughing emoji? Not the double tier laughing emoji. Oh no. Anything but that.
How you doing? How you feeling? Your first base back?
No, we haven't made any rope.
And I think Destiny successfully derailed it, which was his mission. But I thought the
Did you finish it?
Did I finish what? That was yeah. Outhouse.
Imagine me. How many times was I getting
Yeah,
aggressively
you can just
muted?
scrap your items in there.
Nick allowed to yap.
Don't scrap the wrong parts.
By the way, this is why liberalism is the best, and this is why
they're in the
illiberals
inventory.
cannot be tolerant of a diversity of opinion in society. It's because when illiberals are forced to stand to scrutiny, they get obliterated. They can't. They can't survive scrutiny. But unfortunately, it's also why liberals kind of like go through periods where they get obliterated by illiberal people. Is because liberals do tolerate the scrutiny. So you get dipshits like, like Cucko, or dipshits like, Nick Sombrero Fuentes or whatever, being able to come up here and make like the harshest criticisms possible with absolutely no factual basis, and like these basically totalitarian and authoritarian chat rooms where they censor all opposing opinions, because this is how illiberals attack liberals. And liberals can only attack liberals from a foundation of liberalism, because in their own societies they would be executed for the things that they say, which is also annoying. But
Hour was great, and it was great to hear from Andrew Tate. I'd never spoken to him before, so you, me, him, Alex, Myron, total Red Pill Avengers moment. So
Red Pill Avengers, holy fucking cringe. It's also so sad to see that, like, now, like, because Sneeko is a really good like an alpha identifier. Like, if you put Sneeko in a room, he'll instantly get on his hands and knees and crawl over to ball suck whoever he thinks is the alpha in the room.
We
and
need
right
8
now
planks
for him that's
and
Nick Fuentes. So now he's just
5
like here, like
planks and
wagging
8
his
rope.
tail.
Yeah, we need shit tons of
like a little
rope.
puppy.
Fucking
like,
him,
every time
dude.
Nick says something nice about him, or like includes him in his
I
group.
don't think you're gonna find any
So
here
pathetic. Holy shit.
during winter.
total Red Pill Avengers moment. So that was really exciting, but went on too long. The moderation was bad. It was kind of a mess, to be honest with you. Probably would have been better if it was fewer people, but other than that, I thought it was great.
I mean, I just had Suleiman on my stream afterwards, and we were recapping the space. It was that big. It was like there was so much to talk about. But he was basically saying, he didn't say it specifically, but he insinuated that they pretty much had to have Destiny on, or Mario would have gotten canceled.
You know how it goes. Like,
who even? No offense, but who even is Mario? Canceled from what? Isn't this guy exclusively known as like a Twitter debate hoster? What is he getting canceled from? Like, these guys victimize themselves so much. It's so pathetic. Like, Christ. Fuentes scammed like 500,000 from his community on like some donation shit. He's fine. Sneeko literally travels the f***ing world. Like, you're fine. Like, what are you guys crying about?
on YouTube, it's like you need to have pushback against Nick or else they're gonna go and shut it down.
Yeah, well, they had the Krasensteins, and I don't know. I didn't talk to Mario if Destiny was in it from the beginning, but it's totally a handicap. You know, to me, it felt like the Krasensteins weren't doing a good enough job pushing back, so they had to bring in Destiny to just send in 100 different directions. I mean, it's not intelligent, it's not productive, and it's total fucking bullshit because, I mean, the guy said, "Oh, Nick is on my blacklist. Oh, he's on my blacklist." I think we both are, but he's this fucking insipid little pissant is going to show up on every stream I ever do to just ask stupid questions.
Oh, he's so mad. I can't believe I ass rattled this 19-year-old's fucking tan ass at fucking booty. Oh my god, he got so smacked the fuck up. He is out here crying, shitting and pissing and coming and eating his boogers all over the floor. He's so mad. I didn't even know what the I didn't even want to stream tonight. I was doing things. I was hanging out with people. You guys dragged me in on this stupid Twitter thing. I can't believe he's molding. So what was this, like his coronation back on a Twitter? Oh my god, he's so ass mad over it. I can't believe Destiny was there.
Is going to show up on every big stream I ever do to just ask.
And it's funny too because the projection is real, right? Maybe I don't know if I need more evidence of this. I don't know if people can test these claims or not. Fuentes runs probably the most active brigading community on the internet. Everybody knows it. He gives orders directly from his Telegram. And this isn't even like conspiratorial. You can just join the Telegram and see. He gives orders on the Telegram. He boosts people's accounts on Twitter. They do it through organic, like they'll tell people to do it or they bought it. He does it on YouTube comment videos. They do it via emails. Like they do it everywhere. Like Fuentes like very actively directs his community across different social media platforms in order to astroturf or give the appearance, like they call it gay apps. They run them everywhere. They've done it on my communities. They try to do it on my Twitter community. They do it everywhere. Yeah. And so, like, him accusing other people of showing up and blogging is so funny. Don't give the illusion of it being some open speech, like free speech. It's like, oh, host your own, loser.
Stupid questions like, government just got it wrong. Like, he totally got humiliated. Nobody thought he did well. Like, nobody thinks that's persuasive, but he just, antagonizes everybody and just kind of slows everything down. Like he's just a retarded. He's a retard, but he's also just like a retarding force. Like he doesn't even really. By the end of it, we all kind of got to the right conclusion.
Nice.
And he was just saying stupid stuff like,
got him.
Well, the government just got it wrong sometimes. And
I blocked 3 times too.
True, but it just takes.
That doesn't usually work. I'm gonna be honest.
Longer to get to the point when you just have that kind of constant, incessant, interrupting sophistry. So that was extremely irritating. But
I think everybody heard it. I mean, his existence is just push away and distract and kind of just yap and until people forget what the original point even was. I think there was a moment where everyone was just kind of getting exhausted. Like what are we even talking about now? But
that's the entire conversation, Sneeko. You don't ever know what you're talking about. Yes, welcome. It just takes somebody like me to hold up a mirror to you to show you that you are absolutely and utterly clueless. Imagine if the 8 minutes of speaking time I had was enough to exhaust you. Maybe it's time to like go take a nap. Let the grown-ups talk.
Regardless, I think it was overall it was a big win. I don't think that they got any wins there. And you're right, the Krasenstein, I've never heard about these guys before, but they weren't doing a good job. And Andrew Tate even got them to concede on a point about the media and about.
I have like 1 HP left. I'm so lucky here.
I think it was a good showing.
Casimir, oh, he got a rope. Nice, like that.
Other than that, I think it was good. There were definitely a lot of good moments.
Why is the thing still here though? It's looted.
Myron's great. Tate was great. Alex Jones,
I don't know.
It's when he called.
But it's like still on the map.
It's just a little too much.
The other one is too.
Interrupting
The one
everybody.
where there was wood shit.
But yeah, I mean,
warfare.
I'm definitely
We
looking
looted
forward to
that
doing more
one
spaces
place
in the future
next
where
to the
it's
river
not
or lake.
like that.
Yeah, but those
That
respawn.
was,
That's like a natural respawn area.
It's so funny too that like
But the
all of
bandit
these,
camp
like,
shouldn't
fading
respawn.
irrelevant losers are trying so hard.
Not
to,
if
like,
you're
grasp
looted,
at
at
each
least.
other
Maybe
and try
there's
to
a
make
quest
something
involved or
happen
something.
here. Fuentes' peak popularity was prior to and well, it was really prior to the Kanye stuff. Fuentes will never hit that level of cultural penetration or popularity ever again. Twitter's not gonna. It's not gonna be the thing that does it for him. And Sneeko is likely capped
Need to get you
as
some
well.
bandages.
Unless he's significantly.
Yeah, I got
like,
some.
Sneeko maybe has the potential chance,
Ignoring
but
it.
I don't even know who the fuck would associate with him or work with him anymore. So like both of these guys have like faded so far from any relevant eye, and they're trying so hard to like utilize each other's synergy to try to catapult themselves back into some sort of mainstream appreciation. But
stressful. And then we did that second space. I swear, I thought that was Elon for most of it. So that was totally bizarre. I mean, I monologued for like an hour, and that was good. And then we did this back and forth with this strange impersonator that for the whole time I was literally texting you. I'm like, bro,
Damn,
shut
how long
up,
does
it's
this
Elon.
take
Let me have my
to make
moment.
this fucking
And it's
hard?
like this fucking freak, like skin suit Elon impersonator. I feel like a fucking idiot. And so that was just like totally.
No, we thought it was too, and that's why I was trying to get my talking point. I'm like, this is my moment to go and interview Elon, but it's not him. Like I saw a picture. It's not him. It's just he's even spoken to Elon on Spaces before. But I thought that everybody was trolling me, and it really was him for a while. But it's not. They're still convinced in the chat that it was. But we would love to have you on one of our Love Speech spaces. I saw you join Love Speech the other day. This guy Jacosta, he hosts good space, and we just have good conversations. We can have. I mean, obviously you're too tired today, but in the future, like we're not gonna like bring on. It's good to just have these conversations and not have like the weird, annoying distraction the whole time.
if you were Fuentes, what would you do to gain political relevancy again? Could he even do it with all his baggage? I don't know if he can at this point because he hit like such huge mainstream attention and then got shut down by Donald Trump and everybody else. So it's like really hard to imagine him like ever hitting anything relevant again. But I mean, like once Trump is gone, the scenes will change a lot. He needs to ditch a lot of the super extremist rhetoric, but I think it's fun to him. And I don't know if he even has it in him to do that. Or they were kind of doing that prior to Yay, but he has to ditch the super like weird Charlottesville Nazi anti-Jew shit. It just doesn't play well with the audience. And like his audience is like truly become like a multicultural, diverse audience. Like Groypers are like black and Hispanic, and the weird like Catholic obsession is fucking cringe. Like he should just do the. Didn't he use?
Press M and zoom out. You can see exactly where they are right now.
Like be like the far right.
Oh,
like, you want to position yourself like farther right to
beside the settlement.
Like, funnier, I guess.
That
I think something like that maybe has like a potential, but whatever weird cringe like ultra religious LARP thing he's on right now is just not it.
Yeah, totally. Would love to. I always enjoy our conversation of Myron, and it you know, Destiny comes on and literally just blood pressure goes up because it's just like, you know, and to his credit, I think it's an effective tactic, but it's just this like constant like interrupting and just battering ram sophistry tactics. It's like
I think it's
every time we do a debate, I just feel like a headache by the end of it. I'm like, shit.
He's so ass mad. Holy shit. I don't know why he's even saying this. Why would he give me the satisfaction of knowing that like I took 30 minutes out of my night to go and rattle the fuck out of you, and that's gonna stick with you for like 30 days. Like I didn't like. It was what was yesterday? Was this yesterday? This was a Sunday night for me, and it was like a monthly period for you. It was like a defining moment now in your return to X, and it was just another stream for me. Oh my god, he's so fucking mad.
Every time we do a debate, I just feel like
yeah, threat 4 is we might actually lose a few things.
So it'd be good to have a conversation with you and Myron, and you know, or
with the Red Pill Avengers. You know what they really
the Red Pill Avengers. Honestly, the rise of Islam is extremely concerning. Who is Jalen? Should I know this person? Is this a guy or girl? Honestly, the rise of Islam is extremely concerning. Islam goes against all progressive values. Oh, never mind. It's not. I didn't know this was Jalen, like Nick's friend or whatever. I don't know what this is. What's going to happen when half the world is Islam and suddenly it's not safe for women or queer people? Shut the fuck up. Damn. Trans community YouTuber. Gotcha. This is an irrational fear rooted in xenophobic fear-mongering. You can't be xenophobic to a religion. I hate all of them equally, but if you want to get stoned to death, be my guest. It's an otherized religion practiced by otherized people. Otherized? Where? Like in your country? Or what do you mean? You've met them, I think?
Yep, there goes the dude.
And I've only been beaten and called slurs by Catholics. I've got more pressing issues than worrying about some hypothetical scenario in 2060. Why does it feel like the left... Oh, I've seen this person a lot. Why does it feel like the left is trying to rehab Islam so much more recently? Like, I may be crazy, but I feel like at this point in time, a not so small chunk view Christianity is more...
The archers are... Oh, no, one more.
Also, did you know that Allah is beyond gender?
I missed.
I can't do anything.
That video was so... Wait, what is it? Is that a real video?
Shit.
This is that video clip. I can't tell if it's a meme.
The Quran, and I am so
yep,
excited
he got me
about it. People
with
thought
a fucking pitchfork.
Yeah, these guys have shields, bro. That's not fair.
I got a shield.
I don't.
That teaches the Quran and hosts a Quran book club for Muslims and non-Muslims, so I'm really excited to start going to that. She was describing the chapter of the bee, and that just blew my mind. Like, the way that she describes things and the way that the Quran describes things actually makes sense to me. And also, did you know that Allah is beyond gender? Did you know that actually scholars believe that there are two Qurans, the Quran of nature and the Quran, the actual book? And did you know that each chapter is named after a natural phenomenon? I don't know, this whole book is just blowing my mind, and I am so excited. I got sticky notes so that I could mark out things that I was drawn to, and I'm not even through the first chapter, and I already have a bunch of sticky notes. I'm definitely gonna have to buy more tabs. I'm honestly having a whole revolution.
My shield broke.
My game crashed.
I describe the universe and the things that I believe in are actually described in the Quran of believing in.
How am I still in here then?
I don't know. My game crashed.
Before, and now I'm really having a revolution of self of. I think I actually believe in God. If you
just closed,
I really recommend.
Okay, I actually completely and totally changed my perspective, and it only took one video. I would like to apologize because I always wrote this off. I understand why non-white people, non-Americans, I understand why you hate cultural appropriation. I get it now.
I think he just kicked you to a solo.
And I was wrong. We were wrong to criticize
to the main menu.
Cultural
oh, you back out now? Yeah.
I understand it. I see it now.
We lost
you
2
were
minutes.
All right. Okay.
I've never thought that I believed in God before, and now I'm really having a revolution of self of, I think I actually believe in God. If you've been curious, I really recommend it. There are a lot of people who are converting. There's a lot of people who are reading it. I'm not saying I'm going to convert. I'm not saying that I wouldn't. And I don't know.
Yeah, I need a fucking
exactly
sword.
What I need right now. I just wanted to say thank
Game's
you
up.
and just point out how excited I am.
This has to be a troll. I don't believe it.
Oh, I spawned right next to the fucking enemies. What the fuck?
Christian, white, straight, unwoke, unvaxxed, gun owner, meat eater, and male. How else can I piss you off today?
Yeah.
Oh my god, so fucking brave.
I'm about to die again.
So brave. Important context. Destiny is defending the war crime of killing, surrendering opponents because he remembers you can do it in Call of Duty.
Try again?
Saying that, like, if there's a military and you're fighting the enemy, you guys are gonna lose. If you just drop
I
your
didn't.
guns,
Hang
you
on.
just like run back and nobody can shoot you.
If you drop your guns and
I just
raise
loaded
your
it. I
arms,
didn't load it as I meant to.
And running away. You can't drop your guns and just run away, and you can't get shot because you have no firearms.
If you're a military threat at the time, it's a military engagement.
Wait, I literally explain it. Destiny's defending the war crime of killing, surrendering opponents. I literally just say it's not surrendering. What are we talking about here? Is it gotten to the point to where the clips about me are actually proving my point? But now we're like so far away from any reasonable. Oh yeah, true. You can't even drop your gun in COD. So his argument already doesn't make sense. He explicitly is not talking about someone surrendering. He's talking about someone dropping a gun and running back. Repeating the argument that Carl already debunked is logically an admission of defeat. Carl, what is Carl? Who is this guy? Writer at carlbezier.com. Also works at Jacobin.
Why is the villagers helping?
Now it's up. They should be, yeah. We gotta make squads. I gotta like set this up. I gotta look into it.
Yes, it is clear that this is just Destiny himself and that he is just using alts to try to evade my challenge because he cannot defeat his critics.
Shit.
Yeah,
we're about to lose all that stuff.
Hey, I'm streaming.
Yeah, I started back all the way back to the
2.5
beginning.
more hours if you'd like to chat today. Smiley face. Oh, we put the smiley. Whoa. It's unfortunate that he has to stoop
Lost
to these
21.
tactics. I used to be a fan of Destiny,
What
but
is
he has
21?
turned his back on life
Can't
in
see it.
recent years, and now just
Still
sees himself
did.
as a propagandist for whatever he thinks.
They're
is
walking
right.
away. Go kill them.
Wait,
I
am
can't.
I getting
I'm on the
mind-
other side.
Am I having a stroke, or am I not? I feel like something is breaking down in my brain. Is it apraxia?
The
Or is
side
that
of the
language?
village.
Destiny is a
Where you
propagandist
spawn in at
for whatever he
when you
thinks
start
is
the
right.
game. Right there.
I mean, in a way, yeah, but like, isn't that what you're kind of supposed to do? Or I'm not even sure. What are we even saying right now? What? My mind just got exploded. So apparently Nick Fuentes said in his space that he believes only Christians should have a right to be president of the U.S. and other governmental positions. Apparently, as an American Muslim, I should be outraged by this. Why? As a Muslim, I also believe that only Muslims should rule over Muslim lands or be the caliph, not a Christian, atheist, Buddhist, or Jew. I believe that as a Muslim in accordance with Islamic law. So why shouldn't a Christian believe the same thing about his Christian majority country? Okay. Are there Zionist Jews who believe a Catholic or Muslim can be prime minister of Israel? Well, I mean, they could be. Theoretically, it could happen tomorrow, but okay. Is there any reason why you can't simply just call out Nick authentically? I feel like he's too perceptive and sly for tactics, like in terms of his character. You call out the fact that he's a thrill seeker spreading idea. No, what are you talking about? You can't call him out authentically. I mean, I do call him out authentically, but he avoids. So you have to you've got to hammer the rhetoric as well. Nick dodges everything. That's why I asked him 50 times, why are you on my blacklist? Do you not cancel
No, your
people?
corpse
And he
is
has to
still
pivot
here.
immediately. Nick will never answer a question, honestly. That's the whole point of his character, is to be dishonest. Illiberal people tend to be. That movie was so good and awful at the time. Mel Gibson is incapable of making a bad movie. Okay, he can't do it. Mel Gibson is the Tom Cruise of directing. All right, his movies might not always be amazing, but they're never bad. Okay, fuck you. Hold on, let me check his filmography real quick. The Man Without a Face. Wait, I've never seen this movie before. Was that any good? Oh yeah, and Mel Gibson didn't even direct this movie. F you. I think you still ask your opponent too many questions, which gives them time to ramble again. I think you should just make the statement instead of relying on their good faith to answer. I think I'm generally doing that more. I generally make a strong statement. Although even when I make the strong statement, now there are like elements of my audience that get ass mad at me. Like there are people in my audience who legitimately in YouTube comments and on my subreddit, usually they're kind of downvoted a little bit. But people will say things like Destiny was too aggressive with Badar. It looks so bad. It's like, okay, fuck you. There needs to be a name for the fallacy that sneako types fall into when they think because a certain actor/party benefits from something, they must be scheming behind the scenes to make it happen. Oh, true. Hold on.
They need to fix the combat in this game. It's fucking garbage.
Strategy, debate, okay, you're right. Wait, what would we call this? It's like something about there being no coincidences. Hold on. When someone suggests that simply because a party benefited from something, or because they had something to gain from something failing, that there must have been some sort of cohesive plot or
One more hit.
scheme in order to bring about that particular thing.
Bitch.
Often involving
Give me my
highly
books back.
subversive
Is this yours or
and
mine?
unethical means.
That's mine. Yeah, yours is you picked it up already.
Yeah,
no?
I got
Yeah.
yeah.
Coincidental Scotsman fallacy? That's way too loaded. Occam's mallet. I like that one. That's what we're going with. That's Kino. True. Thank you. Okay.
I
don't
think
get
I
it.
died
Well,
twice.
Occam's razor seems to...
Check the
implication
first
is that
crate
the
here.
simplest
There's food in there
explanation
from the
usually
bandits.
makes the most sense.
Damn.
And the
Use
razor is a
it.
simple, finely cutting
Yeah,
narrow
I am.
tool. Well, what if we don't go with the
Definitely
simplest
using it.
explanation, but what if we go with the thing that can explain as many things as possible? Well, instead of a razor, we can use a mallet. It's the opposite. That's good.
It says I have fish.
Somebody said, did you find the
Why
term
can't I
for
not
moral
eat it?
dodgeball, where instead of
You
answering
have
a
to
question,
use
they
it.
start
Drag it in
virtue
your
signaling?
slot.
Moral dodgeball. What did we say that one was?
Like
I think we
did.
called that the deaf preacher.
No, I
When you
didn't.
refuse to engage with the argument and you just make big sweeping moral/virtue signal statements while avoiding any factual response to what was previously said. The deaf preacher, that's a good one though. Moral dodgeball.
Luna, what you doing?
I feel like moral
Trying to
dodgeball
headband the
would fit
fucking-
more the idea of
We definitely need a bit of gear.
more like when you're accusing somebody of having an unethical moral because of I swear to God, I'm not trying to retrofit because I like the name. Accusing someone of holding a different core value.
So
simply
what do we
because you
need for better
disagree
gear?
with an applied
The
position
bronze
that they have. This is a big
Iron.
one.
But
So
we
for
need
instance,
to
like,
make.
If I say like, oh, I'm opposed to rent control,
Hang
and
on.
somebody's like, you hate homeless
I'll
people.
start. Where's the fucking?
Petition to rename this to horse to water. Debate edging. When you constantly stack descriptive claims,
I don't even think we
one
got.
or another that are clearly leading into a certain prescription that you've never actually verbalized,
There we
causing
go.
other people to attack you on a prescriptive claim you've never made, and allowing you to refute their argument without addressing the obvious implication of what you're saying. Horse to water.
Hey, come to it. Yeah, man.
I like debate edging because the idea behind edging is you're never actually getting there. But like, you can't lead a
Yes.
horse to water, or you can't make a horse drink. Implies that they really do want the person to get there, and they're trying really hard to get there.
Yeah, I was planning on
debate
going to
edging is
bed.
better.
Till you
This has to be
messaged
like
me.
a fucking meme, guys. Right?
Yeah,
There's
play a
no way
couple
this
hours,
is
right?
real.
Otherwise, I mean, I can play tomorrow night because Thursday is the
Like,
holiday
I feel
here,
like
so
you
I
did,
got
like, a troll
Thursday
stream and you
till
guys are, like, taking it
Sunday.
seriously. You ever get tired of the same
But I gotta
boring
wake up
insults,
at like
you
7 in the
cut,
morning,
or
so
you
I
just
can't
ignore them?
go
Oh,
late
no, you just think of ways to counter them and you just keep moving.
in
I guess,
the
right?
week normally.
This post isn't about jailing, but she makes a good point about Islam, but leftists attack her for it. Why?
I don't really have to
She's trying
be
put this
awake
in years ago.
tomorrow,
It's
though.
interesting how-
I mean, I have to
it's
be
interesting
awake,
how the
but not
extreme
really.
leftism has finally hit the U.S. Sweden took a huge amount of majority adult male Middle Eastern Muslim immigrants for many years. They obviously did magically leave their culture behind, and there's been a huge clash between our liberal, equal Swedish society and conservative Islamic people. Honor killings, sexism, grenades thrown. I feel like one of the big issues with wait, is this Nim?
We have any more
Is that his
cover?
name, Nimrose?
No, we don't.
Or do they just happen to have? I feel like one of the issues in Sweden is you guys had a really bad time, or maybe I just read this. I need to dig into this more. I
10.
think Sweden has a really hard time integrating foreign workers into the workforce. Like people would come to your country as a refugee, but they couldn't work for like a year. Like it seemed like some retarded shit when I read about it. But I could be wrong. Maybe that was just a meme and that's not true. But
Actually, we do. Okay. So we need pelts, which we have, and scrap. We've got some scrap, not a lot.
Yeah, but we can make those now with
Did
the
Tucker
toolmaker.
get fired for having an opinion that went outside of the narrative of Fox News? Isn't that why he
no,
needs to
Tucker
stay
got fired because he almost cost Fox News
Which
$1
you
billion
need,
for lying on air.
bronze
It's funny that you
and
defend the fact that he had an
wood,
original
I
opinion. What
think.
you're actually defending is misinformation and lies, which is supposed to be something you guys are against. I thought.
Which opinion was this? That's not what I heard. Tell me, please educate me, Destiny.
The Fox News, the Dominion
Which I
lawsuit.
was
There were texts every
gonna
week from him where he
do
admitted he was
anyways.
lying on air about claims that Sidney Powell had made to him, and he was tired of lying to his audience about things about the Dominion voting machines being rigged.
Well, I don't know if that's a lie at all.
You don't know
Firstly.
anything.
Destiny, I want to understand your worldview.
You
That's why I was
acknowledge
making
that
the
your point of view
bronze.
is fundamentally anti-American. From the founding fathers, the framers, the law.
100%. Americanism is a heresy in the Catholic Church. You know that if anything. But
Okay,
you get
so
all
then
your
why the
information
f-
from media
in this
articles.
country, why not go
Thought
live
I'd
in
come
Rome
over
or
here and
go
play
live in,
since you
in the
messaged me
Catholic
for a little bit.
Vatican or go live in
Say again?
Petersburg, wherever the f in the
said-
United States.
Since you messaged me, I come over here and I told you I was gonna come over here and play for a little bit.
Yeah. When you gotta go, man.
Where are they taking the bronze bars to? I made fucking 5.
And try to change us into some theocratic regime when that's not fundamentally what the country is about.
Just
Make
so-
the
not
Muslims
just-
in the
it could
call
be his
answer.
fucking-
Suleiman, Sneeko, and Myron. Nick
Guys
said he would
freaking
never
out.
allow
Yeah,
any
I'm
Muslim in
taking
this country to
this
hold public
table.
office. You're chill with that?
You're making scrap.
But Destiny, I was going back and forth with Nick and Andrew on this. Is that where do you draw the line? Who decides where that line is? Destiny, good to have you. And I'm sure there's a lot of voices on stage that some you agree with, some you strongly disagree with. But where would you say that line should be drawn?
But wait, I'm on Destiny's blacklist. He cannot speak to me because I'm on his blacklist.
Are we talking
okay,
about
okay.
for? Are we talking about for, like, legal purposes? Or are we talking about for platform
the armor yet, or
guideline
no?
purposes, or what do you mean?
Let's keep it more broad. Free speech
I haven't
purposes.
researched anything
Where do you
from
draw?
tier 2.
So Elon has drawn.
I'm making I'm having
so
them research
Destiny
the furnace
is-
now, so we can actually make the iron
is Nick on your
required.
Do you have a blacklist?
Destiny, have you brought? Yeah,
He has to go.
I'm
No,
on
no.
his black, he can't
Give
stream
us an exception here, Destiny. If you
Can
can
we have
speak
the
to Nick,
exception?
Getting her.
if we can have the exception, Destiny, we'd be very grateful. But on a serious note, Destiny,
It'll make
where do
the
you draw the line?
chess
Because
piece,
Elon was asked that
stuff like
question. I
that.
think he was asked. We were doing a space on Brazil. When he was asked that question, he said,
I'm making
"A
travel
country's law, even though he might disagree with it, that's one. That's the line he cannot cross because he's running a business. Where do you think that line should be drawn, Destiny? Because we've been having sorry. I just want to add one more. Go ahead, Nick.
And
Go
we
ahead.
gotta find
Like to say the line is drawn at the law, I mean, is the most boring answer ever, obviously. And if you're a business owner, you're
Rugged
gonna have to
axe.
operate there. But that's not the only place you're gonna operate, right? Business owners can also make suggestions
The
to Congress.
bow.
They can have their appearances. They can
Huh?
talk to whoever they want to talk to. They can
You got
push
it?
culturally for the norms to change.
What do you need?
In terms of like where it should be, I
I'm
mean, I
looking
like the United States
at
freedom
the
of speech.
research.
I think that
I guess
sometimes
it's
people
tier
talk
two.
about it in kind of an ignorant way. Like for instance, when we talk
Tier
about
two?
TikTok, it's
Yeah.
kind of funny that people think
Yeah, I
it's
said
unfathomable
furnace.
that a foreign
Yeah, I know.
adversary
I'm-
literally having
it's at
connections to
59%.
so many different American cell phones.
I'm
and
just
having
looking
them
at
on social media,
all
which
the
is
stuff we
almost
can
incredibly,
make.
like,
Yeah, once we get the
important
furnace up and
that
running, we
we
should be able to make
want to
iron,
use
and
the
then we
United
can like
States.
get
I think
actual
I
weapons.
think it's an easy to understand idea
Yeah.
without needing to
sure.
invoke, any kind of weird conspiratorial nonsense.
Yeah,
Whatever this
Israel.
is, looks like a sword.
But yeah, no, I mean, I like the United States. I don't think we should have hate speech
Shut
laws.
up.
We should, like, say more
One
like
bronze
legal
bar.
legal protections, and then obviously platforms can regulate speech as they want. But I think they should
One
lean a
bronze
little bit more
bar,
on
I
the freedom
think,
of speech
or
side and just give people the
bronze
opportunity
bar,
or the
wood,
tools to like block
and
and mute people if they don't want to hear them.
scrap.
So my next question, Destiny. My next question is: do you think Nick should be censored?
What, from X or from Twitter?
Social media.
No, I think Nick's pretty harmless. I think if he wants to do his little thing, he can do what he wants.
Okay.
I just got something real quick I want to say with TikTok because I find it very interesting. Real quick, I just want to say this with TikTok. There was a push to ban TikTok for years on a national security premise because, obviously a foreign adversary has created the app. But I find it very interesting that a bill didn't get passed to get TikTok.
How long these
until
fuckers
what?
gonna chase me?
It was
Jesus.
overwhelmingly pro-Palestine, about 70 to 30%. Versus being pro-Israel, but once it became pro-Palestine and
You
people
get
became
yourself in
extremely
trouble
critical of
again.
Israel, guess what? Oh,
I
we gotta
forgot
pass
I
a bill
was.
and get rid of TikTok.
Ed, I know you were jumping in.
But the comedy in this game is trash, dude. The AI is like all over the place. See now they run away again, like no fucking reason.
And then Elon actually let you back on, or X let you back on after Elon took over.
That's how you can tell it's
and
early
then
access,
I
man.
think
The
it was
combat is
same
just
day they were
non-existent.
banned again, and is there, like, do we know what you were actually banned for? Because I know doing research, I know you had a post where you said who controls the mind, and it was all these Jewish people in the media. And then you also were in a space where you
Just
said,
take
yes,
a
we love
left
it.
or a right.
Like, do we know which of those got you banned?
Well,
Like, I'm supposedly still in
when I
combat,
got
so I can't fast travel.
unbanned, I was
Like,
under the impression that it
unbelievably broken.
was the new principle was free speech.
Maybe
I
that'll
didn't say
fix
anything
it.
illegal, and they
Finally.
didn't tell me what I was banned for. But
When? I don't know.
I only posted like 3
No, I
things.
said finally.
posted the
I
red
couldn't. I
media,
could use it again.
Said my, I did
No,
my Twitter space.
that was
And that's funny, you think, oh, you said you love
your
Hitler.
question.
I love everyone. I love you. I love Destiny. I love everybody.
But it's very different saying. But it's very. Guys, 2 seconds. So this is the slipper show. Hold on.
Never know.
Yeah, I've just. Okay. Yeah, I am speaking, so I'm not letting it go. But Nick,
4 straps in
do
the
you think
thing
so?
now.
First question,
I
and
added
we'll ask
some.
Elon that question on why you were banned, if you manages to drop by. But the question is,
well, they're
do
using
you
the
think
bronze
that
bars
particular
for scrap.
statement? So obviously you can't compare loving Destiny to loving Hitler for obvious reasons. But do you think that's the statement that got you banned, or do you think it was something else? Nick Fuentes. And I hope you're not being banned, right? I don't know if he's rugging or his account just got banned.
I'll be right back. I gotta go to the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
Again.
Damn.
One of those days.
Mm-hmm.
I'm back.
Banned again. I mean, honest, I think it would be funny.
Can I say something real quick? Something that's really,
Go ahead,
something that's
Destiny.
really
Yeah, go ahead,
annoying.
Destiny.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Destiny.
I wish that we had like better freedom of speech defenders. Like, listen, it's the United States of America. If you want to say you love Hitler, if you want to be anti-Semitic, you should be like allowed to say those things. I don't like it when people get banned for being anti-Semitic and then they say they weren't anti-Semitic, but then they also defend freedom of speech, but they won't say those things. It's ironic because all the people that talk about the Jew stuff are like the people who are the most scared to own the things that they've actually said. Like, it's the United States of America. If you want to be anti-Semitic or anti-Jew, you have the right to say that publicly. Like, there's no law against like saying that publicly. Like, champion.
Hey,
don't,
can
like,
I jump in now? My thing was glitching.
Yeah, go ahead, Nick.
I want to answer this. Yeah, so you're right. You're right. We cannot compare loving Hitler to loving Destiny. Destiny is far worse.
I knew you were gonna say that. I knew you were gonna say that. I knew. Man, look, let's try to last more than 24 hours today.
Come on, that's a good riff. No, you're right. But well, here's the thing. I think that in those cases, in those edge cases, yes, like we do have to permit people to say things that even everybody disagrees with. We have to permit people to say things that anybody would say, oh, you know, of course you shouldn't be able to say that. That's where it matters. The limits of free speech, that's where it becomes tested. We don't have free speech so that people can say, I like Burger King instead of Wendy's. No, we have free speech so that people can say things that are outrageous and question fundamental assumptions, like about Hitler, like about certain political myths, or, you know, how our political system is founded. And so when Destiny says, oh, well, you don't own what you say, it's not about that. It's just about if you are able to discern the tone when someone is talking or what the meaning is. You look at a lot of the things I say, a statement like that is obviously said in a tongue-in-cheek. It's punchy, it's outrageous, it's intended to be. That's the obvious purpose. And all of a sudden when somebody who is like, and by the way, I should point out, while we're playing this game about, you know, you said this, you said that, when I say something like what I don't want to get banned, but when I say something like what I said a year ago that got me re-banned after I was reinstated, everybody looks at that and they rightly say it's outrageous, but there's a complete context denial. People hear that statement and they go, he said what? Ban. Because I'm a right-wing guy and I have all these views and I'm like a canceled American. He's got to go. Hang on. I'm making an important point. When Destiny says, I think that the Palestinians should be genocided. Ha ha ha. Nobody looks at that.
When did he ever say that, bro?
What an outrageous thing to say.
Oh my god. This guy's such a moron.
At 50% right now.
What are you researching?
Your furnace is
at
50%.
Yeah.
I'm looking.
Hashtag soon.
Say some people do, but he's on YouTube. He hangs out with Shapiro, Jordan Peterson.
Wow.
When I say something because I'm right wing and it's outrageous, there's no charity. People pretend like they don't know what humor is. People pretend they don't know what rhetoric is. You know, that's just who he is. He's an odious person. Get him out of here. And same goes for everyone here. Same thing happened to Tate. Similar things have happened to Elon. It's happened to Alex Jones. When left-wing people do or say things that are just as bad, just as racist, or just as violent, or whatever, it's always with them, oh, well, I'm sure he was joking. You know, Hassan Piker can say, we deserve 9/11. As far as I know, he's still on Twitch. I'm not. But what is materially different from saying America deserved 9/11? 3,000 souls, innocent, were killed. We deserve that. That's a fine statement. You're on Twitch and Twitter, and there's no censorship.
I'm trying to get some fast travel points down.
He's still on YouTube.
The place I'm at here right now, oh my god, dude, there's like fucking 5 guys all over the place. Like everywhere there's a group of 5 guys. It's ridiculous, dude.
You know, whatever I said, I don't want to say it again because I don't want to get banned. Oh, well, he's a horrible person. He's an avowed neo-Nazi. Look at what, you know, they're going to reprint the quote like Ed Krasenstein did without the laughing or the tone. And that's BS. Like, let's just be honest. Everyone can recognize what's going on there.
Quick question. Just on that, before that point, just because there was something mentioned, there's it's important sensitive thing. So
on the road,
Destiny, on the joke that
they're just walking on the road, dude.
Many will find insensitive, offending,
no,
etc.
the fast travel stuff.
On the joke of
oh yeah, you can only put them next to roads. There's like I've been making like a giant fucking network, dude. There's like this is my 6th or 7th that I'm placing, so. So when you look on the map, it's the flagpoles.
I know. I kind of figured that they would be there instead of you making them and putting them out.
No, you make him and put him out, which means you can place him where you want, right? Well, next to a road, obviously, but that's why I put one next to the Tina and stuff. Like some areas have like good loot, so you just put a fast travel point there.
Right. I don't know why I'm sitting here fucking waiting. It's not even turned on. Little bitch.
That's gonna help.
Of you being a more despicable personality, he said, than Hitler. Now, I think he meant it as a joke.
Sitting here
Do you
waiting
think
for
such
it to
jokes,
be
Destiny,
done,
who you
it's
said
not
that
even
Nick is
moving.
on your blacklist, do you think such jokes should be censored or
Bro,
they should be allowed?
you ever play Half-Life, like the original?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Dude, you gotta play Abiotic Factor, man. Oh my god, it's so good.
Yeah, I played that when I can't remember when it was, but I played it.
Half-Life?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I mean Abiotic Factor.
And I didn't know they made Half-Life 2.
You serious? This is like one of the biggest games ever.
No, this is when Half-Life was Half-Life. Is the only Half-Life.
Yeah, but you just said you never knew they made a Half-Life 2. I'm like, this is one of the biggest games ever.
Yeah.
Half-Life 2
Yeah,
is like literally one of the biggest games ever. Do you realize the reason we have physics in video games now is because of Half-Life 2? Like the Source engine, that's the first engine ever that had physics. Like barrels falling down, like physically accurate and ragdolls and stuff. All of that is because of Half-Life 2.
Yeah. Yeah, when I played it, it was just Half-Life, I think, and Half-Life 2 wasn't even out yet.
Yeah, I played Half-Life when it came out, like 98.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Somewhere right there, I played it as well.
No, they made a survival game. It's kind of like this one, I suppose, but then like more like not like this, but you know, more like I don't know, like Sons of the Forest or whatever, you know, like a survival game. It's
Which
not
one is it?
really in the Half-Life facility, but it's in the Half-Life facility. You know what I mean? It's the one I was playing yesterday.
The Forest. The Forest is one, and
Yeah, but think of the forest, right? But instead of like outside on an island, you're inside of Black Mesa, like the facility in Half-Life that fucked up.
Yeah.
So it's actually really fucking cool,
Doom?
dude. It's really good. It's called Abiotic Factor. Me, Exquisite, and Synergy have been playing it.
Damn.
It's $20 actually. I would highly recommend you go to Steam and check it out. Obviously, right, for us, because we're like massive Half-Life fans, or I guess we know more about it, I guess, than you do in terms of like the fandom, so to speak. So for us, it's more of a, because the guy looks exactly like the main character that I made looked exactly like the scientist, right?
I seen Sam play in it.
Yeah. It's actually really fun, dude.
So yeah, I went from Half-Life to like Doom.
Oh, I did that the other way around. Doom was first for me. That's like, it's hilarious because I was like 8 years old or something, but Doom is my first video game ever, dude. Like Doom, straight up Doom. Yeah. I guess that's not true. Rick Dangerous. I played like a bunch of games on the Amiga, but like my first real computer game.
Yeah.
No, I suppose Rick Dangerous and stuff is also a real computer game, but essentially the first FPS that ever came out, which is Wolfenstein 3D, I played that one, and then I played Doom. But I think I played Doom like way more than Wolfenstein 3D.
Yeah. My first one was Resident Evil.
Yeah, I was a gamer way before that.
This is like 96, 97, somewhere.
Yeah. Dude, the first Resident Evil gave me nightmares.
I did not know.
That little part where you walk into the mansion, like right at the start, right, and you walk around the corner, and there's this zombie eating a corpse, and then the video starts of the zombie turning its head like really slowly.
Oh no! You go.
Bro,
through
that gave me nightmares, dude. I swear to God, I was like 8, you know.
No, you'll go into the dining room, and then at the hallway you turn,
Yeah, to the left.
Right.
No, left. It's left.
lift.
Yeah, for the first zombie that you see in that game, you have the hallway and then lift.
Yeah, you gotta go. Yeah, when you go main door, make a left and then a right.
Yeah.
And then
The zombie's
down
on the right,
hallway,
but you have to go into the You have to go left on the doorway, and then to the right
starts
is the zombie.
cutscene,
Yeah, dude, bro, that fucking that actually gave me nightmares. And I watched it again recently. It's like the worst fucking graphics you can think of, right? But back at the time, we didn't know any better, right? There was nothing better, so it's like at the time it was really scary.
what got me was the dogs jumping through the window.
That was just startling, right? That's just
hallway.
startling. That didn't give me nightmares. That just scared me. But the zombie turning around, that gave me actual nightmares for like a couple of days.
First thing I said is, this motherfucker can turn his head. That's not a zombie.
Why wouldn't a zombie be able to turn its head?
Exactly. Like that. I mean... Because they have some makers, they make them turn as one, like a one unit.
Yeah, but the original guy, the original zombies, they were essentially pretty much human. Like they could do most of it. They were just had this need for brains. Right, the Romero zombies, those were the first ones. They're actually way scarier, dude.
Yeah, the OG. That's what we
even
call the OG.
Even killing the brain on those zombies does not work.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. You ever see that movie, the second one, right? So there's I forgot the name of it. But they had these like zombies in barrels, and they're like, oh, these are made by core engineers. They don't fail, and then he slaps it immediately fails. Like,
yeah, Night of the Living Dead. Is that the one you're talking about?
I think it's Night of the Living Dead. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not the first one, right? Is that Dawn of the Living Dead? Maybe. I can't remember.
Well,
which one's
it
first.
went to the Night of the Living Dead, then it went to the Day of the Living Dead.
Yeah. Is Night of the Living Dead where they like murder out the entire fucking town and everyone dies? That one.
I don't know.
Yeah, they call in the military as like the last resort, and the military just nukes the place.
He's like, don't open that. He goes, why? And he opens it, and fucking the zombies are like, ah!
No, they don't actually open it. The guy slaps the barrel, and the barrel like spits open, and covers them in zombie dust, essentially. Like it blows up right in their faces. Because that's actually a joke. Because it's like, oh, these things are made by the Army Corps of Engineers. They'll last for life, and then he smacks him, and it immediately fails.
And then he gets turned into a zombie, I think it is.
Yeah, they all die at the end.
Yeah.
Mostly because they're like holding off, trying not to contact the military until it's like at the end they do contact the military, and what does the military do? They come in and murder everyone. Which honestly, that's basically what you need to do, right? I mean, you can't fucking let that. Right. You gotta contain that shit. Holy fuck. Because those guys don't die after you murder the brain, because all of their separate body parts still working.
Then what did give me nightmares? What did give me nightmares is the one that was in the mall. What is it called?
I think that's Dawn. Actually, it's Dawn or Day. Either one of. I think it. No, it's Day of the Living Dead. I think.
Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah, that's the remake. No, Dawn of the Dead.
I don't know. But the one with the black dude. Yeah. I didn't.
Wait, are you talking about the remake or the original?
Yeah, the remake.
Oh no, I mean the original. The remake. How can the remake scare you, man? That came out when you were like 24.
I think it was one of them. I can't remember, but it's like, ugh. I think it was the original one. And it was like, oh my gosh, really? Seriously?
The furnace is ready.
Mm-hmm.
What's your position on that, Destiny?
If you're
And I'll
talking
go to Sunny.
legally, I think you should be allowed to joke about whatever you want to joke about. But again, like the problem again is like the
Wait.
advocates for freedom of speech are so like boring and dishonest.
I
Like,
get somebody
Blanchard's
over
not
here
banned for telling jokes.
to
Blanchard's banned because he jokes
start
about things
this
he actually
shit.
believes. Right? The difference between like me
Oh,
and
my
Fuentes is if
sword.
you ask me, Destiny, do you think all the Palestinians should be genocided?
Wait,
I
I'll
think
put
you
one
listen
of
to the
them
rest of
to,
the clip, I go,
who's the
"Man,
best
it's like
builder?"
a really situation. I don't know how it's going to end. It
See.
seems like there's no way out. Like that's my answer. If you ask Nick, do you really think that like Jews run 70% of the world and the white race is being bred out of
but the
existence
funniest
by
one
mass immigration
is,
that's facilitated by
I think
secret
the
Jewish
funniest
financiers who
zombie
also control
game,
all of our foreign policy
first
and make us allegiant to Israel? And they've
funniest
done this
zombie
for thousands
movie
of years, and that's
would
why
be
they
Shaun
kick out
of the
every single.
Dead.
He'd be like, well, yeah, you know, and also, you know, 6
Yeah,
million
that's
cookies.
it's also
Like,
one
what's
of the
difference?
best ones.
Nick isn't
No,
joking.
but
But again, like,
Destiny,
just own it.
Destiny,
Just
quick
own it.
question. No, but Destiny, like, do you not agree that a person can ask a question?
It's also a
they
really
can
good
believe
movie.
in a
Just
certain
read it right off the bat, like
Yeah.
regardless of
and
what
then
it's
ask a
about.
question that people will
But
find
Simon
it,
Pegg is a really good movie
harmful,
maker.
or find it emotionally hurting. As an example, you said you know,
started throwing
anti-Islam or you're
fucking
Islamophobic,
CDs at
and then you
him
make
and
jokes about it. So you
everything
can clearly
in the
have a position
backyard.
and yet make jokes about it, right?
Well, yeah, no. But if you would have asked
His
me,
cop movie is
Destiny,
great. I
why
forgot
do
the
you
name
make
right
jokes
now.
against Islam, I wouldn't be a pussy and say, "Oh, bro, I'm just joking." I would say because I don't
Oh,
like
is
Islam.
it
I
the
really
black
don't. I hate
dude that
religion.
played in
Like, I'll be honest
one
about
of the
it. I'm not gonna
cop
sit here and be like,
movies?
"Oh,
Yeah,
look, they're just jokes."
so
No. Simon Pegg, who's the lead and creator of Shaun of the Dead.
Nah.
He's like a very he's one of the guys in Mission Impossible, right?
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, the blonde-headed dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not really blonde-headed, but yeah. Yeah, he's like literally the creator and the lead actor in Shaun of the Dead, bro.
Yeah.
Like the character you followed, that's Simon Pegg. The movie that I'm talking about is called Hot Fuzz. Watch that one. It's really good. I'll link you the IMDb page.
I haven't seen a lot of his movies. I've only seen that one, and then Mission Impossible ones.
Watch the Hot Fuzz one. Trust me, it's really good. It's also both of the same guys because they're like really good mates in real life, so they make a lot of movies together. Shaun of the Dead was one of them, and Hot Fuzz is another one.
Is that his partner?
The fat guy, Nick Frost.
Yeah.
Simon Pegg and Nick Frost. Oh, fat guy. I mean, yeah. No, he's a fat, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
but
I'm not technically.
I don't know. I don't know his name, so.
Yeah, Nick Frost. Simon Pegg is the lanky one, and Nick Frost is the fat one.
You don't never see him anymore. For some reason.
I mean, they're British. They're not UK. They're not US.
Yeah, no. So how did that Shaun of the Dead get all the way over here, though?
Because it's such a good movie. I mean, I watch a shit ton of Japanese and Korean movies. How did they get over here? Right? Just like one of my all-time favorite movies, like one of the best movies ever made in my opinion, is a Korean movie, so. Actually, no, Chinese. My bad.
What the fuck?
Yeah, Chinese. It's. You ever see The Departed?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've heard of it.
That is a terrible garbage remake of an actual good Chinese movie, Infernal Affairs, Mo Gando. It's actually a trilogy, dude. Everyone is like super, Scorsese this, Scorsese that. Bro, that movie is garbage, alright? Completely changed the source material to this American nonsense for needing a somewhat happy ending. Like, fuck off, man. The bad guy is supposed to win. That's the whole fucking point of the movie. The bad guys win in the Departed, but they don't in the Departed because Scorsese is a pussy, and the American movie public are stupid.
Wait. Are you saying what? Who is Scorsese?
Do you not know Martin Scorsese? One of the most celebrated filmmakers in history of filmmaking.
No.
Bro, he made all of the movies that you probably find great. He made. Ever heard of Goodfellas?
No, I mean, it came over TV, but no, I've never seen it.
You've never seen Goodfellas?
I don't think so.
Bro, it's like one of the top 50 movies of all time. Goodfellas. 2 N-words just stole my truck. Did you see that? That guy. That one. What the fuck? About the mafia? Have you never seen that one? How about Taxi Driver?
Taxi.
Fucking
No,
Robert De Niro in front of a mirror. You looking at me? You must be looking at me because there's no one else here.
Oh yeah.
That's fucking yeah. All of those movies are Martin Scorsese. Like he's like super revered, but when he made a remake of the Chinese movie, it was fucking trash, dude. And for some reason, The Departed was in like the top 250 for like years. But it's actually a garbage movie, in my opinion. But that is because, like, if I take it away, right? If I ignore the fact that it's supposed to be a remake of a better movie. Sure, it's a decent movie, but it changes so much about the source material. And I saw the source movie way before he ever thought about making a remake of it, right? So,
what would it be budgeted? Like that kind of fucked up, or just?
No, he changed the ending, bro.
The writing, then.
Well, yeah. Like he changed the ending to make it more palatable to American audiences, because American audiences, if the hero dies and the bad guy wins, American audiences are like, what the fuck, this movie sucks. So he fucking changed that completely, which is the entire... You basically destroyed the story at that point. Because there's an actual... Here's the thing, right? He only remade the first movie. There's 3, okay? It's a fucking trilogy. So he gave you like 30% of the story, changed it, and then was like, yeah, my job is done. What the fuck do you mean your job is done? Total hack, Moon, man. That movie was fucking garbage. I'm still pissed off about it. Because I was looking forward to like an American remake of that, and then they remade it. It was just yuck.
Are they not? It's at 31%, but where the? Did they go to sleep?
Oh, they're all awake.
Somebody's not fucking researching this bitch.
Does it need resources? Actually, the person that's on research, I make our stuff, make our equipment. Also, yeah, there's required resources.
Oh, I have that. Okay. Well, 2 of them, anyways. Gotta go get some.
Wow, that's a lot of stone. That is the stone.
I've got a bunch of it in the storage.
So let me ask Nick. And this is the thing. So why is and this is the real question people are asking, like, why is Destiny able to make those comments and someone like Nick gets banned? So Nick, same question to you. Your position in terms of whether you believe that certain people run the world or whatever it is.
Yeah.
I mean, have you
it's good
because
I'm using all of it now.
That's his argument.
This one needs a lot of stone.
No, but here's the difference. People are not saying, oh, you believe that Jews have disproportionate influence in media. I don't think anyone would even disagree with that. I don't even think Jews would disagree with that. Also, it's an empirical question. So people, if they're interested, can go and look it up. You know, it's actually not a completely subjective question. It's actually quite objective. But that's not what people accuse me of. And that's like a very slippery way to frame it. When Destiny says they should be genocided, so of course I don't believe they should be genocided. Okay, fair enough. People watch my speech from a year ago or 2 years ago, and they say, oh, he wants to kill all people that aren't like him. In the same speech, I say, we love everyone. We love even our enemies. We need to pray for them. We need mercy and compassion towards them. We don't need cruelty. I think even in that same speech, not even about Jewish people or Israel, in that same speech, I said, when I look at homosexuals and transsexuals, I don't like all the cruelty visited upon them. We need to pray for them. We need to bring them into the church, blah, blah, blah. So it's like the same speech where people say, oh, Nick said he wants to kill everyone and all of his opponents. I'm literally as Destiny said with his comments about genociding Palestinians, blah, blah, blah. Context, so it's like it's completely misrepresented. The difference is the ADL and the SPLC aren't flipping Destiny's joke and throwing it on social media every time he makes a post. The difference is when an article's written about Destiny, there isn't a preamble that says Destiny, a live streamer who said Palestinians should be genocided, but they do that for me. Every unfortunate thing, joke, exaggeration, whatever you want to call it, always
found out
with the
where
most
the cord to
uncharitable
go.
interpretation. That is on my Wikipedia. That is the preamble of every article written about me, and I'm not going to hide behind my real views. Okay.
Are you saying
Hello?
that all of that was taken out of context? The words
Saying that we're going to kill
taken out of
everybody
context?
or whatever? Yeah, it absolutely is taken out of context. I mean, we have to give me a specific example.
How many Jews do you think died in the Holocaust? Well, there's a specific.
So,
How many
so
Jews
Nick,
died in the
so Nick,
Holocaust?
so Nick, just a quick question, right? When you're so you've explained the disparity in terms of the rules, like basically Destiny can attack Islam, Muslims, and he's got no problems, and you have been banned. Now the question becomes, when you know that that's the level of Sophia that we live in, that there is this disparity, do you then, like, now you made a joke, didn't you, right? And it was clearly a joke, but now that could be snipped and that could maybe be used to get you banned or whatever it may be. So does that make you become, you know, a bit, does that make you become, well, obviously it hasn't, but should it then make you become a lot more careful in even the jokes you make?
No, absolutely not. Because what I have learned, because I've been doing this for a little while now, longer than many people, what I've learned is it doesn't matter, actually, what you say or how carefully you say it. Keith Woods is on here. He just jumped on the space. This is a guy who, I mean, me and my followers, it's like an inside joke that his streams are so, they don't have any rhetoric. They don't have any, there's no jokes. It's very dry. It's all philosophy. This guy is like the most controlled, disciplined, and by controlled, I mean he has self-control, not like controlled op. I mean he's self-controlled, restrained, disciplined, and even when he got popular last year for the ban, he started the Ban the ADL campaign, hashtag, they dug up like a tweet from 2 years prior where he said something like, sarcastically, oh, I guess I'm a raging anti-Semite because blah, blah, blah. The ADL cut that, and now every time there's an article about Keith Woods, it says, self-avowed, raging anti-Semite. One tweet from years ago said in an obviously, I mean, Keith knows the details, so he can reproduce the tweet, but it was so obviously, he wasn't saying, hey, it was obviously rhetorical, it was obviously sarcastic, so it doesn't matter. All the videos, all these dry videos about Platonism and, you know, video essays and articles about birth rates in a very measured academic way. He said one thing sarcastic one time, they dug in, found it, some researcher reproduced it. Now he forever will be known as the self-avowed raging anti-Semite. So I've seen many things like that. So the question is, do you like self-censor and impose a chilling effect? And, you know, we can't be funny, we can't make jokes, we can't be rhetorical, we have to kind of go through this translator and be, as Tate said at the beginning, you neuter yourself. They want you neutered with the chilling effect from these free speech regulations. Or do you just kind of go out? I feel like I have filled up the room with such a cacophony, like there's just like this ambient perception of me as this like vaguely horrible person. Now I can say whatever I want. Now I can say whatever, and you know, and I think people can recognize if they watch my show. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, Nick. I'm going to put you on the spot and then get Destiny's thoughts. I'm going to ask you a tough question.
Sure.
And I'm pretty confident you will not get banned answering that question. But what is the most controversial belief that you currently hold? And the mic is yours. It doesn't matter how controversial it is, because then my next question for Destiny and anyone else would be, should that belief be censored? Should the ability to speak about that belief be censored? Nick, the mic is yours.
Okay. Well, I would say the biggest taboo right now is talking about Jewish people, you know, because I talk about race and I talk about gender and a lot of things. And the biggest taboo is, as we all know, talking about Jewish people's influence, and they could be right-wing or left-wing. I think, though, it seems like the influence of Israel is maybe the biggest one.
Yeah,
because even
I was looking for it.
talk about George Soros. So I would say it's Jewish influence, and you know, my answer for that is I think that only Christians should be in power in America. And I don't know the details of how you'd work that out in terms of if you pass a law or there's a qualification, but I think that we should have all Christian legislators and Christian presidents and Christian Supreme Court judges. So I would say that's probably my most controversial.
I'd say taboo number one. We've discussed this point in previous spaces. I want to ask you, and Keith, I'm going to go to you in a second, but give me one more, Nicholas, and then we'll go Nick, and then we'll go to Destiny afterwards. The second taboo thing, and I've got a quote here about I'm gonna read out a quote. Could be out of context. Maybe it could be the second one when you said it could be a joke as well. We need to go back to burning women alive more. Again, if I took it out of context, I do apologize. But can you maybe elaborate that quote? And could that be the second most taboo belief that you hold? Which I'd be surprised if you actually hold that belief.
I see your co-host thumbs down that one. I wonder, she didn't like that I said I want to burn women alive. That's obviously a joke. And if you look at the whole context of that clip, I said in a very deadpan way, I'm like, you know, women are casting spells and they're becoming witches. In the Middle Ages, they used to throw them in the river. They used to burn them alive. I'm like, and here they are lying on the stand about, I think in that case it was Johnny Depp. I'm like, they're lying about Johnny Depp casting spells. I'm like, we got to burn these women alive. Obviously, a joke.
Oh, okay, I'd put that in I'd put that in an extremely bad joke, but yes.
Can I ask Nick a question real fast?
Your reaction is what makes it funny.
Where the fuck did I put the mixing buckets? Over there.
For you to burn me at the stake, but you'd have to be tied to me.
So what would be before Ed and Keith, just 2 seconds. So Nick, what would be the second most taboo belief that you hold, and that one, Destiny's thoughts on either of these, whether they should be censored? And I'll ask Ed the same question, and then Keith.
Probably my other one is that race is real. You know, I'm a race realist. I think that there's genetic differences between the races as opposed to everything being environmental. So, I mean, and those are broad categories of, like, you know, talking about Jewish people, talking about biological diversity, human biological diversity. That's what people would say is the dissident right. Those are like the two biggest taboo things they believe. And then so for me, I guess that those would probably be the big two.
So, Destiny, these are two beliefs and I'm guessing you disagree with. So should Nick have the right to speak about those two topics on any social media platform, not just X?
I mean, personally, I think that if you're large enough of a social media platform and you're hosting political conversations, I think almost any, like, any kind of mainstream, like if more than one person
you make the
believe
cob.
in it, there should probably be conversation.
I don't even know what fucking
so
cob is. I know
say
what
that everyone
fertilizer
yeah,
is.
but
You need it for the buildings.
On most mainstream, like, social media platforms, assuming political conversations happen here, right? Like, if you've got, like, a social media website,
Would that be like
for,
cement
people
or
talking
something?
about
A very, very shitty form of
I
it.
understand banning the speech there, but for places like Facebook or X, you know, Twitter, like, I can understand people
More like
wanting
Clay.
to have those conversations too, and you should be able to. But again, I would like to repeat the same thing I've said a million times. It is so boring that nobody will actually present what it is they actually believe. I don't know if it's strategy or I don't know if it's cowardice, but like
what is it do you think that I'm hiding? I mean,
you just said two things that are objectively true that everybody believes it. Like, Jews have a disproportionate. Jewish people have a hiding? Jewish people
what am I hiding? What am I hiding and not saying?
I can, yeah, say it. So
well, I can give a reason why people would hide their beliefs on that. I can give a reason why people would hide their beliefs on that. I mean, Destiny
if you want to hide your beliefs, that's fine. But then say that. Be like, yo, I'm not going to say what I actually believe because I'm not going to.
No, but what is?
You're muddying the waters because
I can't say it. Yeah, I'm just saying.
A lot of people don't.
Go ahead and say it.
I can't. Okay.
Go ahead right now.
Say a minute ago that the Jewish thing was a myth and that, like, Jewish people don't have a disproportionate amount of power in the media.
Who would say
that? It's an objectively true thing.
It's two things, okay? One, Jews obviously have a disproportionate amount, and far more than the media, probably politically.
I'm not hearing what I'm hiding. I'm
surely,
not hearing
yeah,
what
you're
I'm
hiding. Is
you
you
made
don't
that
think...
accusation 3 times.
Oh,
I'm not hearing an example.
Can I finish a sentence? I know you're excited.
Yeah,
to get
answer
back
the question.
I'm
talking about other stuff.
I'm trying
answer
to, but you cut me off like every 2 seconds.
No, you're not. You're going in another direction. Name one specific example because you said it now like 5 times.
Yeah,
oh,
okay,
you're
I'm
hiding.
gonna have to
you
repeat
won't
the
say
same. I'm trying to get my answer out.
Say it.
Eventually, you'll let me do it. I know you're excited.
Let's hear
okay?
say the example.
Yes.
Then.
So the idea that Jews disproportionately represent some part of, like, the power structures is not the controversial nor the strong claim. That is an objectively true claim that everyone can see. The strong claim is the idea that there is a secret cabal of Jewish people that are working to undermine other races across the world that are coordinating and working through all of those structures of power. That's the controversial belief. That's the thing that you believe in and you preach. But then you come onto these platforms and you give the weak take of, like, don't you think that, like, most of the people's in charge are, like, kind of more Jewish than, like, they really should be? Or the same thing with, like, the race and IQ thing. Like, everybody who's reasonable to anything should acknowledge that there's going to be genetic differences, probably even genetic differences between groups of people.
I
but
think
that's
we
not
still
your
need
claim.
that.
Your claim is
that
black
stuff,
people
don't we?
are dumber due
What
to
stuff?
genetic reasons on
The
a
stuff
whole
for the-
versus white people. Like, that's the strong claim.
straw.
You make the weak claim that is,
Yeah,
like,
to make
everybody
wheat,
believes in
or
it,
to make
then, like,
straw,
the strong
so I
claim
can
goes
make
unsaid,
cob.
and that's usually what people are upset about.
So we can make the
Which you can
furnace.
argue is
Yeah,
good or
okay,
bad, but
so
at
let
least,
me-
like,
let me-
own just, like,
so
man
we
up
can
and
make
own your
the
position. Don't, like,
houses.
say the most
That too,
like,
yeah.
obviously true things ever and leave all the controversy, behind you. That's weak.
Yeah, see, the difference is that when you say these things, you're rephrasing them in the liberal perception way. You say, well, if you believe in race realism, that means you believe black people are dumb. No, if you believe in human biodiversity, you believe that there are genetic differences between people. IQ is a heritable trait, and blacks have a lower average IQ, on average, than white people. That's also a statistical fact. That's also true in SAT scores. It's also true in IQ tests globally and in America. I've never hid from that. I said that in front of a crowd of black people at Iowa State. I said that in front of Myron. Hang on, and Myron is here. I said that in front of a panel of all black women on Fresh and Fit.
That's a
because
fact.
you're just reframing what I'm saying
not
in a
reframing
liberal
it.
way.
You're saying
You're saying that if
different people are
someone
different.
believes in genetic differences, then that means that you believe black people are dumb.
No,
and if you say that Jewish people influence society, you believe in a shadowy cabal where they're like evil wizards and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah,
So it's like, of course I'm not going to say the caricature and the reframing that you're giving it because you disagree. You don't like that people find it persuasive. That's why you put me on a blacklist and said
it's
I will never stream a Nick Fuentes.
because
but
you're
then
not saying
when I'm on a big
controversial.
space, then you got to show up to derail and disrupt and say, oh, all the persuasive stuff. Well, he's just lying. There's secret evil views that he has that you just aren't hearing right now. So that's why you're going to break your one rule. You come on the podcast, even though you quote unquote
you're obsessed with
blacklisted
comic
me.
book villains.
Because as you said, I do like that movie. Because as you said a couple of years ago, you don't like when people like me talk to a large audience. You're the one that's hiding a political
people
agenda.
DM'd me to come here, okay? So I decided to come and hang out.
That's
But
what
like,
just said like my career was over
Just as a real quick reframing. Like,
hold on. Just Ed and Keith. I want to ask you both the same question. Is like seeing that back and forth between Nick and Destiny. Is there anything in that back and forth that should have been censored? Is there anything that could have, that could be considered hate speech or could have led to violence and should not be allowed on X or any other platform?
Look, I think it should be up to the platform itself. If a platform wants to censor certain types of hate speech or certain types of incitement of violence, I think they should be able to do that.
Even despite sorry to interrupt you, Ed, but despite the amount of influence they have now compared to 10-20 years ago, like if you give them that right now and they all just meet in one room, they can essentially control speech around the world.
Yeah, but I think that's their right as a corporation. I don't,
Ed,
like,
what's the platform's primary objective?
The platforms. What platform are you referring to?
All of them. Why do social media companies exist? What's their primary objective?
To make money.
To make money. And you're saying that they should be allowed to ban certain speech they don't like if that allows them to make more money, correct?
I believe, as in capitalism, I believe that's the way it should be.
So if Pfizer came along and decided to give a bunch of money to one of these social media platforms, would they allow anti-COVID vaccine conversations and speech or vaccine injury proof on their platform, or would they censor it to make as much money as possible?
I think it's up to them as a corporation to do as they please. Just like Donald Trump with Truth Social has censored liberals from his site.
That's fine, but we're talking about people getting
I think Elon Musk.
Yo, sorry. No, this is a bit debate from yesterday. Sorry, I was too focused. My bad. How you doing, El? What's going on? No, there's a debate from yesterday. Because Nick Fuentes guy got reinstated to Twitter, and then Destiny crashed it. And then afterwards, he was like whining to Sneeko about it. It was hilarious.
Right to run it the way he wants to do it. That's like and under his terms, that is, as long as something doesn't break the law, and I guess that can be subjective to.
Yeah, they just brought that up as a point.
On in Brazil, I think. That's his right, and I think if that's the best way to run it, that his platform will probably succeed.
Cool. So vaccine. I understand what you're saying. So vaccine injuries do exist. However, the platform's objective is to make as much money as possible, and Pfizer is funding the platform.
Well, he's a Nazi, right? Like an actual one.
Do not exist. So they are purporting a false version of reality. They are creating and aiding the Matrix and making people believe a version of reality that is not true, primarily for financial profit. And those with the global centralized capital can control narratives and can control the world, even at a better
Is there a
level
good
than
kind?
Political parties. Would you agree with that?
Wait, Pfizer is not even worth that much money. Why would we assume Pfizer can control speech on
It's an example.
Yeah,
Destiny.
see,
Ed, go
so
ahead.
you keep blaming it on the advertiser or a company that's paying these companies. It's up to the media company. It's up to their shareholders. What's in the best interest of those companies? That's how capitalism works in America. That's what I think most conservatives are embrace. They embrace capitalism. Let the companies make up their own mind. If one business idea is not going to work out, if people don't like that, they're going to move to another platform. And we're seeing that with a lot of people who are moving away from Facebook and onto X because they don't like this level of censorship they're getting on other platforms. So they move to X. Just like the media, that you can watch Fox News, you can watch News Nation, you can watch, there's a plethora of different media outlets that you can consume if you don't like what one media outlet's putting out there. It's not the government saying, oh, the media can't talk about the Pfizer vaccine or say that it has side effects. If that would be an infringement on the First Amendment. But in capitalistic society, these companies can run the way they want without government interference. So if the government starts interfering and saying you can't run your platform how you want, then that's going to be the government interference, and that's going to be against the First Amendment.
Okay, well, that's another argument because there was Twitter files and there's a whole rabbit hole. People
and the Twitter files also, I mean, the Twitter files showed that a lot of stuff went on. People requested a lot of things to be removed, and Twitter, being a publicly run company, publicly held company, they made up their mind on what they believed was best for their
Let me simplify the question. Do you believe the people? So what you're effectively saying, we agree on the fact that those with the money can control certain narratives and how they're perceived and discussed. Would you agree with that?
Those with money definitely have more control, yes.
Yes, and they can control on a public forum how certain things are perceived and discussed because they have the money. And when I say advertise, what I truthfully mean is donate.
Holy dads.
That's what they do. They donate and lobby to platforms.
That's kind of random.
Yeah, of course, on certain platforms they can, but on certain platforms they can't. Like, let's say X, for example.
Well, absolutely, because it's free speech. So this is where we're going back into I'm only going back over this because we talked about it earlier when you guys were saying the primary objective of the media is to make money.
Always stuff on the ground?
That is the primary objective.
I don't know. I think they just drop stuff when they move.
Okay, well, if that's their case, then they're going to take money from the large centralized power structures, and they're going to purport any false version of reality that it takes them to make as much money as possible, and people who donated the money to make as much money as possible. Objective truth has nothing to do with it.
If that's in the best interest of the shareholders, perhaps. I'd like to think that shareholders have an ethical side of things too, and if they see that happening, they're not going to be as interested in investing in that company. So, I mean, I think the board of directors and the shareholders are going to have the ultimate say there. And I don't think most people want that.
But do you think you were censored for money?
I didn't hear you.
Do you think your account, you and Brian's accounts, were banned for monetary purposes? Did they make more money by banning you guys?
No.
Do you say that contradicts the point?
Our accounts were banned because
they broke the rules, didn't they?
They thought we purchased their accounts, which we didn't.
No, sorry. What I meant was they thought you did. It wasn't because you had said like an impact on society, and that's the reason they wanted to ban you, right?
They banned me. Yeah, they banned our accounts because they thought we were breaking their terms of service. But I would add that was a business decision that they thought would help the business. So
do you think Andrew? Sorry, Brian. I thought it was Ed. Brian, do you think Andrew Tate or Nick Fuentes?
Furnace is almost done.
Because the platforms wanted to make more money. Because Stripe wanted to make more money, they banned them.
Yeah, I do. I think that they saw them as somebody hampering advertising.
And do you think do you think this model is flawed, where advertisers
hampering their image? I think hampering their image, which hampers their revenue, right?
Let me ask
That's just an alibi.
Let me ask a simpler question. So you're saying effectively that mainstream media will lie for money, correct?
Well, I mean, if you lie as a mainstream media outlet and you're caught in that lie, it's going to hurt you. It's going to hurt your revenue.
That's not what I asked. I'm asking, do you if I use Pfizer because the example we used earlier before Destiny has a breakdown.
Now we gotta find
if
Aaron.
Pfizer come along and they are sponsoring, donating, advertising, lobbying, whatever you want to call it, X amount of hundreds of millions of dollars to your news network, and you're talking pro-vaccine, would the mainstream media lie for money? So yes or no?
I mean, I think that depends on the individual who's making that decision. But I mean, if I was running the mainstream media, I certainly wouldn't. I mean, I think you have a reputation. If you get caught in a lie, that's going to hurt you monetarily in the long run. It's going to hurt you from a standpoint.
Well, that would be true unless your primary objective was to spread lies. and for you to be paid to spread lies. And as long as you spread the lies, you continue to get paid because nobody buys what you
Look
sell.
at Fox
anyway. Nobody
News.
gives a shit.
Why I don't think none of these companies have the money
Continue
to
to fund them.
solo fund like an entire social media platform. Like I feel like the analysis stops with if somebody pays you $100 to lie, will you do it? The answer is yes, but everybody that's a large creator on this platform knows that if you got paid $100 to lie, you wouldn't take it because if people found out you were lying, your losses would be way more than the little bit of money you'd get paid to do the lie.
Yeah,
That's
and
crazy.
everybody has
People
their
pay you
moral-
even though
man,
you
we're talking
lied about
billions.
your marriage not exploding.
Kind of like Nick, how you lie about
I think
every
you
single thing you
get
do. So,
paid
for
to
instance, we were
lie
talking about
everything that you
deplatforming, and Nick
say.
is talking
You
about
thought
the
that
blacklist
Ukraine
that
was
we're
gonna
on.
win
The
the
only reason
war.
Nick, by the way, is
Back
blacklisted
to what Andrew was saying.
Guys, can you say?
One at a
spam
time,
reporting
Jesus
people. That's the only reason I
Andrew,
blacklisted
Andrew,
Nick.
but the what you said is that social. I think the media will
Some
lie for
high
money.
Darwinism
I think
shit.
you're right there, and I think I cannot disagree. But then, isn't that going to be
It's
their
probably not a
downfall?
good
This is
idea.
not
Well, this is the
because
thing.
they eventually lose trust.
Well, this is the missing element. They will lie for money, and then we're talking about how that's going to damage their reputation, which has happened. Nobody trusts them. Nobody believes them anymore. And everyone's missing the very obvious point that it's their job to lie for money. They've always lied for money. They'll tell any narrative they're told to tell by the big money and the big finance. That's the only
No, but
reason
who are
exist
they?
is to lie
Who
for
are
money.
they?
Why
Andrew,
would
who
they?
are they?
Why?
Like,
Let me
can you
finish.
name an individual? Is it the CEO of CNN? Is it, you know, like who?
It's global. It's going to change, right? The COVID-19 narrative is different than the Ukraine narrative. Perhaps they're all on the same team, but
Yeah, but
it's
you
people
can't
with large.
take everybody
it's
into
people
maybe.
it's people
Andrew,
with large pools of
I'm sure
finance
there's a few.
power.
I'm sure there's
and the
some
only
people
reason
who would lie for money.
Hold on.
I'm sure there's some people who would lie
Bro,
for
because
money. You're right.
for irony,
But
we need to go
see,
all the way to
they
the side of
say
the
that
map.
Mainstream media would lie for
No
money.
shit.
Like everybody in the mainstream media,
That's not
their
gonna
goal
happen.
is to lie for money, just
Yet.
to put money in their pockets, and they're willing to tell lies. That's ridiculous. I mean, you're judging every individual person.
It's not ridiculous. It's why they
No,
exist.
it is. It's absolutely ridiculous.
The mainstream media.
How if they promote vaccine misinformation? People were all losing their jobs if they were to promote anti-vaccine content or anti-vaccine misinformation, which has direct harm to the people that are getting these injuries. Like, we're talking about a misinformation that has direct harm to humans. And we're talking, Andrew's bringing up a point where if they lie for money when Pfizer is paying them, which they did during COVID, and then they're not reporting on vaccine injuries, then this is a lie that has direct harm to humans. That direct
Wait, are we
overlap
saying should those be
illegal.
banned? Should that be made illegal if you lie and you get paid money for it? Should that be like a free speech thing where you're in trouble for that?
Well, here's the real
But if
here's the
people get
pertinent
hurt?
point, though. I feel like we're missing, guys. I feel like we're missing a very pertinent point. The only reason
this is so
mainstream
boring.
media exists at all is to lie. I don't know why we're trying to pretend that's not the case. The reason it exists and it's
I think
pumped
that's
out
a
free
ridiculous
everywhere
statement.
all of the time and forced on everyone's throat all of the time in every single lobby everywhere is to lie. They get their objectives that they're supposed to purport to the populace. Their job is to lie. And to sit and say, well, if they lie, they won't be trusted.
Let's keep
Correct.
making those
Nobody
fucking...
trusts them. Correct. They've been lying for money all this time. That's exactly where we
does a
are.
media
So
outlet-
how
when
is
does
this
a media-
confusing for anybody?
So Andrew, when does a media outlet become the mainstream media or part of the mainstream media? At what point?
Well, that's an interesting question. I mean, you have state broadcasters for a lot of countries, and I'm sure that in each different country, you have their state broadcaster with their particular narrative they want to push and enforce. I'm sure the Chinese state broadcaster and the Russian state broadcaster and the British state broadcaster will look at the same series of events with a completely different spin and a completely different narrative that they'll try and push to the populace, which they think is best in their national interest,
Where you at, PJ?
which means it comes from above. It's not
Making my way
organic, it's not
south.
just accidental.
Oh my
They put together
gosh,
the
I just
narrative
made
they're
you a
told to,
chess
and they push it
piece.
to the population.
Well, I'll
They're
pick it up later.
professional liars. That is their
Yeah,
job.
but don't you think that every media outlet wants to reach that point of being considered the mainstream media because that means they're the biggest media in the country? So at a certain point,
There's
you
like
become
5
part of the mainstream. At
conglomerates.
a certain point, you become part of the mainstream media,
It's
right?
those 5.
So at that point, do you just start lying? I mean, it's a ridiculous narrative. Sure,
What's
people who
ridiculous
lie
to
in
say
the
that
media.
there's like
happens.
a free market for media. There's 5 major conglomerates that own most of the media. So to pretend this idea of like, well, they're rising and falling and they're in competition. There's like 5 major
They rise and
conglomerates
fall.
that
It
control
takes
most of
it's
the
a
media.
slow process.
And there is some, within margin. So nobody would ever say that like some tiny publication that could be founded by an individual is going to blow up and compete with the big 5 conglomerates like News Corp, 21st Century Fox, and Disney.
And
So
they
it's
wouldn't
just-
let it. And they wouldn't let it. Guys, let's be hyper realistic here. I said earlier about the control of people and influence over people is the only true war. Tanks and bullets are the final last resort to do that. It's much easier to use social media and narrative control and the MSM, etc., to control a populace as opposed to putting them all at gunpoint. The idea that you can just stand up and tell the truth and you're going to have a broadcasting organization inside of the UK bigger than the BBC and you're just going to talk against the government and you're just going to tell the truth and be Mr. Honest and they're going to let you get bigger than the BBC without catching a fucking bullet is asinine. Look at what's happening to people who have Twitter accounts. Not just my story, Nick's story, Alex Jones' story. There's a bunch of people with Twitter accounts who end up in a cell for having a Twitter account, let alone a broadcasting corp. To sit and believe that, oh, who becomes mainstream and you can just go and make a news channel and maybe you'll get in. It's one big club and you're not in it.
Alright,
You haven't answered my question.
If you're still on,
when
I'll
you
come
say
back.
they, the mainstream media, are you talking
Yeah, I'm
about,
gonna go
say,
offline
Chris
as well.
Cuomo when he was on CNN,
For a few
are you
hours
talking,
and then come
like,
back
is-
for another
is
few
he
hours
being
and then
fed disinformation that
go sleep again for school.
I'll be very honest with you what I think of
I just made another
news broadcasters. I think they're
travel saying.
idiots
Save it
who
here.
are dragged from obscurity and they sit down in front of a teleprompter and I think
I didn't see the fucking what is it, rawhide fucking jacket.
Nobody's giving a shit. I think he has 500
I made the other one.
He's some random
which is
idiot
not
they plucked from
it's like
obscurity,
a
sat him
point
down, he read the teleprompter. It's
better
not
than
about who reads
ours,
the teleprompter,
but
sir. It's about who decides what's on the teleprompter.
That's good. At least we're getting somewhere. Tier 2.
Yeah.
You know. Now, if only I can crawl my way all the way south so I can get these fast travel signs, then we can just go fast travel back and forward for the iron. Because that's gonna,
well,
it's gonna
I
be
did
fucking
make
annoying.
you a sword, so
Yeah, I got that. Alright, dude. Have a good one.
all right, man.
I'll
Mhm.
see you later.
I'll message you when I get back up or something.
Alright, man.
If you don't answer, I know you're asleep.
Yeah, if it's after 10 here, then I'll probably not.
It's fine.
Alright, bro.
All right, buddy.
Peace.
See ya.
You guys too, guys. Thanks for hanging out for a few hours. I'll be back a bit later. So, probably gonna come back with Abiotic Factor, though. Because Exquisite and Synergy, right? Depends on them. We'll see. Thanks so much. Peace the fuck out. See you in a couple of.